Welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we are opening up a literal casebook, Detective Disha's casebook to be exact, to solve the ultimate mystery of food. From incredibly strange smells to entirely hidden microscopic worlds, we've got a lot of ground to cover. So grab your imaginary magnifying glasses and let's jump right in. Okay, let's dive into this. Picture this. It's a bright, sunny Monday morning. Disha, who is always super eager to explore the world around her, makes a rather, unpleasant discovery. She finds her forgotten school lunchbox. The problem? She originally packed it last Friday. That means it has been sitting around all weekend. Inside was one of her absolute favorite foods, an uttapam. But staring at the completely unappetizing mess inside, she had to ask the ultimate question, what in the world happened to my uttapam? The evidence is, quite frankly, grim. After sitting out for 3 whole days, popping that lid open unleashes a foul, awful smell. And the once yummy uttapam, it's now covered in these strange, fuzzy, brightly colored patches. It is completely ruined. This really visceral scene sets up our very first problem today, a mystery that Detective Disha desperately needs to solve. What exactly caused this perfectly good food to spoil so quickly and so drastically? To get to the bottom of this, Disha ran straight to her older brother, Aditya Anna. He took one look and explained that those gross, fuzzy patches are actually mold. And that mold is made up of thousands of tiny culprits called microbes. Now, microbes are living things, but they are so unbelievably tiny that you'd literally need a special instrument, a microscope, just to see them. They are everywhere around us. And when they land on our food, they grow in these massive, almost alien-like colonies. As they multiply, they completely change the food itself, which is exactly why that uttapam suddenly had that terrible smell and looked so weird.
All right, but a great detective doesn't just find the culprit, right? They figure out how to stop them. To do that, you have to know what keeps them alive. Disha discovered what we can basically call the microbe survival kit. Like all life, microbes need a few very specific conditions to survive. First, they need moisture, water. Second, they need air. And third, they need the right temperature. So here's the absolute crucial point. If we can just figure out a way to remove even one of these 3 things from the equation, we can stop the microbes right in their tracks and save our food.
And this brilliantly illustrates our first method of attack. Disha actually found the answer right out on her own balcony. She saw her Amma and Appa laying out chilies on a mat directly under the hot sun. When she asked what was going on, her Amma explained they were making chili powder that would last for the entire year. The science here is brilliantly simple. The hot sun literally bakes the moisture right out of the chilies. But taking away the water that those microbes desperately need to survive, the chilies remain completely unspoiled for months on end. This isn't just some isolated science experiment. It's a really vital, shared family activity. Traditional Indian methods for preserving food in the open air turn the scientific process of moisture removal into an essential rhythm of household life. Using the natural, totally free power of the sun to dry and preserve ingredients shows us how generations have cleverly managed to keep their food safe and flavorful without needing any modern technology whatsoever. Okay, so that handles moisture. But what about the second item in that microbe survival kit? Air? Disha found the answer to this right inside the kitchen. She noticed her Pati, her grandmother, pouring mustard oil into a huge jar of pickled green mangoes. And get this, the pickles from 2 whole months ago were still delicious. Pati explained the secret. The oil acts as this impenetrable barrier. By completely submerging the food in oil, you are effectively suffocating the microbes by cutting off their air supply, keeping those pickles perfectly safe to eat for a very, very long time.
So we've tackled moisture, and we've tackled air. What's left? Temperature. The very next morning, Disha opened the refrigerator and saw milk, vegetables, butter, and a cake all safely stored inside. Her Appa provided the answer this time. Refrigerators make the temperature simply too cold for microbes to grow. By removing the right temperature from the microbe survival kit, we fight off spoilage. This freezing cold environment is exactly what ensures your milk doesn't sour quickly, your vegetables stay nice and crisp, and treats like butter and cake remain perfectly protected.
Now wait for it, because here is a massive plot twist in our investigation. As it turns out, not all microbes are the villains of our story. Sure, spoilage microbes ruin our food and cause those foul smells, and they absolutely need to be stopped using all those preservation methods we just went over. But there are also good microbes. Think back to a time you maybe ate way too much fair food and got a terrible stomachache. When that happened to Aditya Anna, his parents gave him curd to soothe it. Why? Well, because curd contains tiny, helpful microbes that join the good microbes already living naturally inside your stomach. Together, they actually help you digest your food properly.
And this whole revelation about digestion transitions us beautifully into the final part of our investigation. Detective Disha, who is never one to leave a mystery half solved, looked right into the mirror, opened her mouth wide, said, "Ah," and just started to wonder. She had figured out exactly how to stop food from spoiling before it gets to the plate. But what exactly happens to that food after we start to eat it?
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how it kicks off our own personal digestion process. Before those good microbes in our stomach can do their heavy lifting, the food needs to be physically broken down into smaller pieces and then basically into a mush. In our mouth, it's equipped with a highly specialized set of built-in tools designed to do exactly that.
Seriously, we don't just have one generic type of tooth. We have a complete toolkit right in our mouths. Up at the front, we have the incisors, which act just like scissors to cut our food. Right next to them are the canines, designed specifically to tear. Moving further back, we have the premolars, which are built to crush the food down. And finally, those big molars in the very back have the heavy-duty job of grinding the food into that soft mush we can safely swallow.
But here's the catch. Just like we have to preserve our food, Disha learned the hard way that these built-in tools require some pretty strict maintenance. She actually got a bad toothache and had to visit the dentist to treat a cavity. That's a literal hole in her tooth, guys. The dentist gave her some absolutely crucial advice. Oral hygiene is immensely important. We have to brush our teeth regularly, rinse our mouths out after eating, and eat way fewer sweets to prevent these cavities. It all links perfectly back to the central theme of managing our food. Oh, and as her Amma warned at dinner, never ever gulp down your food. Taking the time to chew properly prevents choking.
And with that, we can pretty much close the casebook on today's mystery. Microbes are these incredibly powerful, tiny forces. On the one hand, yeah, they can spoil our food if we leave them completely unchecked, which is exactly why we dry, oil, and refrigerate our meals. But on the other hand, they are essential allies. We literally need them to help us make foods like curd, and they live right inside our stomachs to help us digest everything. So the ultimate takeaway from Detective Disha is this: eat right, preserve your food properly, chew it well with those highly specialized teeth, and hey, always remember to thank the good microbes.
To wrap up today's explainer, I want to leave you with a real-world challenge. Imagine you are packing for a 2-day field trip. I want you to list 5 specific food items you would carry, and based on all the science we've uncovered today, how will you keep them from getting spoiled? Think about the moisture, the air, and the temperature. But doing this also leaves us with a much bigger, kind of wild thought. If tiny, totally invisible microbes are constantly trying to eat our food, but are also secretly living inside of us, helping us digest it, who is really in charge of our meals here? Is it us or is it them? Keep learning, keep questioning everything, and I'll see you in the next explainer.